All right.
Totally.
All right, Connor Rogers. Connor Rogers is here. And you know what, Connor? Seeing that, anytime I see like those types of interviews and, you know, that kind of tone, I say, the deal's done. Deal's done. I think the deal's done. They'll probably announce it later today, tomorrow morning. He's going to play. I think Chris Jones is going to be a Kansas City Chief. What do you think?
I think he'll be there the rest
officially.
of his career. I just think the worry is, did we run out of time, right? I mean, football is just a wild game where no matter how talented you are, you need some kind of ramp-up period. And a lot of coaches basically don't let guys play that can't make it through that final practice to be cleared for the game. So if anybody could do it, it would be him. If we find out a contract was done in the next couple hours, I think I'm fascinated to see the details of when that ultimately does get done, assuming it does, because you have this weird gap in the interior defensive line market. You have Aaron Donald making about $31.6 million a year, and then number 2 is Quinnen Williams at 24. So does this deal fall in the middle of that? Does he make it to Donald's annual average?
Yep.
Chris Jones has deserved every bit of what he's asking for, which in the most perfect corporate words was a raise. He's earned that. He's vital to the Chiefs' success. And I think the Chiefs have no choice but to meet his demands.
That's right. Pay him. Pay up, Chiefs, right now.
Yeah, and I think you said it right. And Liv, you tell me if you agree with this. Look, the gap is he's not Aaron Donald. Nobody's Aaron Donald. But he's better than Quinnen Williams.
Yep.
He's one more. I think he's a better individual talent than Quinnen Williams, which is that's not a slight to Quinnen Williams. It just talks about the greatness of Chris Jones. And he's got rings, too. He's got multiple rings. I think the raise is coming. It may not be 30, but I bet, 27, 28 is close by. You think that'll get it done, Liv? 28 million.
I think so.
3-4 years.
I think so. But I don't think that he's asking for anything that he doesn't deserve at this point. I think that's what makes it so hard is you see guys a lot of time kind of maybe not know their place, think they're more valuable than they are, or unfortunately the running back market, which we've touched on this show many times. That's just a very broken system. But this is a guy that I think the Chiefs need, and he knows. Part of me shares the feeling of, no, I don't want to say that because he wants to get paid. I was going to say they need him more than he needs them, but he is a talent. So he could play somewhere else. It just sounds like that's not what he wants. So I think he's not asking for anything that he doesn't deserve and hasn't earned. So I think it would be silly for them to not pay him what he deserves and keep him on the team.
Connor, I'm wondering, does any of this change your calculus for like the first let's say first month of the season? Like who you think is going to get off to a great start, who you think will be standing at the end between the Travis Kelce injury, unknown, uncertain, and the uncertain contract status of Chris Jones. I don't know if you were big on Kansas City from the jump and if this has changed anything for you.
Not too much, honestly, Michael. I think when you look at it, could they go a full season without Chris Jones and Travis Kelce? No. I mean, that's just asking the impossible. You're talking about probably a guy that'll go down as the greatest tight end of all time and a guy that at age 29 could end up being one of the better defensive linemen of the last 10 to 20 years. That's how good Chris Jones is. So I think ultimately the good news is with Kelce, it sounds like they are kind of taking that hour by hour at this point. It has no season-ending implications. And then with Chris Jones, it's about getting the man paid and getting him back into camp. And then Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can keep you afloat against Listen, the Lions and the Jaguars, their first 2 games, those teams are going in the right direction, but Patrick Mahomes can do enough and Andy Reid can do enough to keep you afloat. I actually think this is a really underrated, well-coached secondary as well that will be fine. And then they play the Bears. That doesn't scare me. They have Sunday Night Football at the Jets. That's going to be a really, really hyped-up game, obviously. And then you play the Vikings and the Broncos. So the Chiefs don't go through, considering they're in the AFC, they don't go through the gauntlet that a lot of these AFC teams do to start the season. So you'd rather get all of this stuff wrapped up now, have Kelce healthy for the latter half of the season, the latter 3/4 of the season, and get Chris Jones ready to roll full steam back to his 100% snap total by October.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.